2022?
2022.
Yes.
I'm feeling 22.
Don't know that song.
It's T Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. So, on this episode, we are talking about resolutions and why Steven and I don't like them.
And yeah, that was pretty much it. And
yeah.
And we give you guys a catch up. Where we've been doing through all the good stuff.
The holidays are over.
You
don't have to do that again until next year.
Next year.
Woo!
The next one is what, July 4th?
Yeah, but holidays.
Days.
Like when you're like, oh, there's another one coming. Oh, there's another one coming.
Exactly.
You're good.
You're good.
You're good for now.
Tune in.
Perfect.
Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alanna Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Steven, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Steven Mizell, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alanna, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now. Yo.
So currently
we're back.
We're back. The Mizell Show. And my ladies will know about the heatless curl trend. And we have headphones that we can hear real well.
We got new headphones.
And I'm struggling to keep them on because I have my heatless curls happening.
You are struggling, but you can at least hear them though.
I sure can hear myself.
Yeah, got new headphones. Santa dropped them off. Actually, Santa had to drop them off because our kids broke our other headphones. Right. So we are.
They didn't get coal in their stockings.
They did get coal in their stockings from that.
It's 2022.
It's 2022. We are back from a little holiday hiatus. HH. How about that?
You're the first person that's ever used it.
No, I haven't.
I know it was.
Yes, we're back from our holiday hiatus. And yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Christmas.
Yeah.
Parents out there know that Christmas. I think I texted with a couple buddies of mine. I'm like, how was Christmas? The first thing they all responded: crazy, tiring, like
exhausting.
There's no chill.
I need another vacation from Christmas.
And the entire quote unquote break. We're glad the kids were out of school, but like, it was every day saying it wasn't.
By the end of it, we were like, okay, Briggs, it's time for you to go back to school.
And Briggs is ready to go back to school. Like he was towards the end, he was asking
week one
about his.
Can I go see Miss Katie?
He's asking. Briggs got up at 4:15 on
nearly
Christmas.
every day.
Nearly every day, but Christmas Day, he got up at 4:15 and then decided to. So with Briggs, we weren't sure if he was going to remember that the day was Christmas.
It was Christmas, yeah. Oh, brother remembered.
He woke up.
Went up into his sister's loft bed and woke her up.
Woke her up and said, "It's Christmas!"
I've never been so tired in my life.
We were so frantic.
The way we woke up was just...
It was 0 to 100.
Not about it. I was not about it.
Yeah.
But so, since then, 2 weeks of their holiday break have passed. We didn't celebrate the turning of the year, New Year's Eve, really.
We didn't.
We watched a movie. We went to bed.
Watched the movie. Netflix.
Fireworks woke us up.
Don't Look Up. We watched that. You fell asleep.
That's a good one. I fell asleep.
It's a good one.
Good-ish movie. I thought it was pretty bland. Like the plot was the same the whole time.
But it was an underlying
didn't have
issue,
much
though.
of twists and turns happening.
No twists and turns, but you understood what they were talking about, though, right?
For sure, I understood what they were talking about, and it was kind of like a subtweet the whole time.
It was a subtweet the whole time. And
so the movie is about a comet hitting Earth, and if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's on Netflix, but it's all about how we're slowly ending coming to our death, essentially.
Yeah, and it's also
because
talking about
what we're doing.
Yeah, because what you're doing, and it also talks about the sheer volume of science versus perception versus money. It was a good movie. And
versus
politics, and so we kept it pretty low key on Christmas on New Year's Eve, and it was just a roller coaster of emotions too. Because as we all know, during a couple episodes we talked about boundaries.
Yeah. After Thanksgiving, we talked about boundaries a couple episodes ago. 2 episodes, I don't know how many ago.
Yeah.
But we talked about boundaries and implementing them. And I think it's also even more challenging when you have little kids
Yes.
who do things wrong.
Yeah.
Like Briggs does things wrong. And your parenting style or the type of parenting that you're trying to work towards
is different
than others. Like, for example, we have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
He's wild.
Yeah.
But like when you actually study the science of a 3-year-old's brain, there are things that he fundamentally does not understand.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest shocks I got was one of our good friends. We saw her before Thanksgiving, and she was kind of talking about her son. I think William is now 6 or...
I think he's 6.
6.
Yeah.
And she was talking about when he was around Briggs' age, she would get so frustrated and so angry with him until she went to a parenting conference and did some more research, and she realized I have been yelling at my son and he has no idea what he is doing at the end of the day.
Right. Literally, he doesn't have the cognitive ability.
Yeah.
So that, I think, kind of goes into, for me, a New Year's resolutions. So this off script, Steven's like, we're just going to kind of catch up.
Oh, we're just catching up. Yeah, we're just talking.
But what I'm thinking about is almost, okay, so everybody does New Year's resolutions, or a lot of people do. Steven and I tend to not. We'd rather just kind of set goals periodically throughout the year. You hit one, all right, what do you want to do now? Let's assess them. Where is that coming from? That's a great question to ask, is where's that coming from? Because I think so many times we look at what other people have achieved or what other people are wanting to achieve, and we're like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so there's this great influencer. Her name is Kate, on What Kate Finds. And a couple years ago, she took every month and just picked a topic. And of course, January for her she's like, I kept it easy. It was health and fitness, and like I created these things that I wanted to stick to.
Yeah.
Kind of as benchmarkers, but every month it changed. And so she had always felt this level of guilt and shame that she should do meditation because it's such a fad.
Yeah.
You know, there is balance in it and all that kind of stuff. So one of the months she spent trying to meditate. She hated it. Hated it.
Yeah.
But for her, the way that she structured her year was more so, okay, let me just commit to 30 days.
Yeah.
If I don't like it in 30 days, like, we ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And like, for her, that book has now closed. She's done with it. Mm-hmm. I don't like yoga. Tried it for 30 days last year, hated it. Like, I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried it. Mm-hmm. We're done. But I think so many times we get to the beginning of January.
It's a new year.
We've tried things before.
Yeah.
Without thinking about, but why do you want to do them?
Yeah, but I think it's the thing that people continue to run from. You don't want to think about the why you want to do it. You just want to dwell on getting that goal. Because I think sometimes people get the misconception of goals. They say like, hey, I want a goal of X, Y, Z. Then when you accomplish that goal, you feel empty because you didn't dig into the deeper point of why. And there's so many reasons why a lot of people, including ourselves, I know me for a fact, it's an ebbs and flows of weight loss, weight gain, and stress, I think, deals with it. But I also think it's the fact because, like, I'll reach that goal, and I'm like, okay, now what? And with me, it's
now
like...
I can lay off the gas.
Knock off the gas a little bit. Hey, I reached this goal
I'm into neutral.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it's like, I could just do this. Because to me, which I've talked about in this podcast before, going to the gym is, I'm not going to say easy, but I can go to the gym. I enjoy the gym.
It's become a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's become a part of my lifestyle.
Like almost people that just, like you eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Steven goes to the gym. Like,
I go to the gym.
You take a shower.
Yeah.
Steven goes to the gym.
I go to the gym, and I see myself sometimes going to the gym and not seeing or feeling the results because it's not just the gym.
Right.
It's what comes after the gym. It's what comes after
and it's before the gym. Like, but why are you going to the gym? Mm-hmm. I don't think for you, and I would say this for a lot of people, I don't think for you that it's a results-oriented gym space. Like yesterday, you had just had it with Briggs, but he had already been up since 4-something. Steven was gracious and let me sleep, which he usually does. And he was like, okay, so I'm going to go to the gym now. Like, was joking. And I said, no, really, what do you need today? And he goes, the gym would probably be good. I really just need some time by myself. And he chose to go to the grocery store by himself. Yeah. Which was helping our family. But at the same time, I think for you, it's almost like, it's twofold. Yes, you want to be able to go and achieve something. and get somewhere. But I think for you, it's more so getting your mind in the space of realizing that that's your personal time. And I think for you, so many times you're more so like a checkbox, like go in, get it done, get out, versus go in, focus on me, enjoy it. Then when I'm finished.
And I think that's something that I've turned the corner probably in the last maybe 2 weeks, because we had a really good conversation between me and you. And I think that's something that everybody needs to, I'm not saying if you're not married, if you have a relationship with, like, find somebody that's supports you, but also have an in-depth conversation. So my biggest thing was I was not allowing Alanna to be a parent. And what I mean by that is I would give an excuse of I can't go to the gym. I know Brig is going to wake up while I'm at the gym. So what? Alanna, his mom, is more than capable of pulling that boy into the bed with her or doing what I would do. But I feel this guilt of, hey, if I go to the gym and Briggs wakes up, then she's not able to sleep in and get her rest. But at the same time, it's having a conversation with you and letting you help me through that.
Do you feel like that stems from how much time you were gone when you were with football?
I think it definitely plays a role in that, because the time away from you guys, the drastic career change, where we are now, I mean, that's why I go to therapy, because I am working through... Just saying, that's why I'm working through that.
Just saying, one of the many reasons, amen.
That's why I'm working through that guilt piece.
Yeah.
And me, in the back of my head, giving myself that excuse of, okay, don't go to the gym today because you know Brig is going to wake up. But, like, again, and be realistic, guys, it's probably about maybe a 30 to 40 minute window. And here's the thing, if he even wakes up. Many times, there's a couple of times where he won't. It's like, well, I could went to the gym,
right?
So,
and then you feel regret, and then
the whole day's thrown off.
Here's what happens when you start to feel regret. Regret leads to what? Resentment,
frustration.
Right. So then you're regretting and or resenting not only us as a family unit, but also the next employee that you interact with, not because they did anything wrong, but because you didn't set yourself up for what you needed. And so I think that so many times people are like, self-care is so good, blah, blah, blah. But, like, you fundamentally have to understand that self-care is equally, if not more significantly important for your family as it is for everybody else that interacts with you the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And finding out what you need, I feel like, is a moving pendulum. But that's why for you, going to the gym is one of those things that every so often you have to have a check-in point. Of like, okay, am I just walking in the door, getting it in and getting it done? Or am I walking in the door and utilizing this for true and authentic self-care?
Yeah. And
because you're not going to sit down and journal.
Yeah. And also the key is the fact of, like, while I am there, I am not putting unnecessary anxiety or stress. Like, I need to get through this just so I can get back.
Right.
And help out. I mean, granted, yes, it's good to help out, but at the same time, that self-care moment that you're going to take people, or that it's just as important for yourself as it is someone else. So you have to be okay with knowing, again, we talked about it earlier, why do you need that self-care, and how can that self-care truly help your circle of life that you're in?
Did you know that I sell makeup? Not only do I sell makeup, but the makeup that I sell is 3D makeup, which allows you to highlight and contour your face in a super simple compact. As a mom, I could not survive without my simplified routine. Not only that, but it's exactly what you need. Exactly when you need it, all in one spot. Go ahead and check out Alanna Mizell on Instagram or alannamizell.com to learn more.
Right. And I think it's also super important to kind of take that another step, in that when people are not participating in self-care and are interacting with you. So, like, when we're talking about in the workspace, you know, specifically in a digital age where so many people are working via Zoom, via electronically, virtually, whatever you want to call it, there's a level of grace that I feel like we're missing, because we aren't giving grace to those that don't realize how much they need their self-care. They were masking it years prior with going into the office, having, what do they call it? Water bubble talk. What is it called?
Water cooler talk. Meaningless talk.
Meaningless talk, or hearing the gossip of the office. Well, that's non-existent now. That was masking and allowing them to put on a facade that they've gotten the endorphins because they giggled a little bit.
Yeah.
But now they don't have that.
And that's something that's very important. I think
that's critical from a leadership standpoint, and anybody that interacts with anybody really, but specifically in a workplace environment, is to understand that some people haven't gotten to the emotional capacity or the emotional space to have self-love and self-care to be able to perform their job at the facet that they need to. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's an offline additional conversation with them. I'm not saying, hey, have you been working out? No, because my version of self-care is not working out.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it when I do it. But
her self-care is stressing her husband out and painting and redoing. No, just playing, guys.
No, legitimately is. It's using my hands.
Use your hands. And that's something that we, as a family, we give you guys all the goods to catch up. So earlier this week, I think within the 30-minute time frame, we decided that we are getting rid of our playroom. We don't need it anymore.
I literally sat down and said, hey, I have a thought. Tell me if it's crazy. And I gave him the thought, we're moving the playroom. It's no longer a playroom.
It's no longer a playroom. We've now transitioned toys into Briggs's room. Adele didn't even really use the playroom.
We had already transitioned hers last year so that Briggs wouldn't break everything.
Yeah.
And now it's an office space.
Because like I said, we talked about you and us needing a space for you to be able to use your hands, and honestly a space that you can climb out of the bed and walk down the hall and read a book and journal, because the last 2 years you've had to do it in your bed.
Right. And for somebody that struggles with clinical depression, staying in your bed is quite possibly the worst thing you can do, because you're already fighting the desire to not move.
Yeah. And I'm so excited for you now as we work through getting that room set up, because our audience knows, we'll tell you, and Alanna's on the job search and she's looking for something, and we have some good leads and we'll keep you guys posted, but I'm excited about you actually being able to sit at a desk and really dive in and look at companies and not just randomly sneaking back and applying for a job while you're in bed and you're looking for things. It gives you a refreshing thought and feeling, because when you're in your bed working, it's cute here or there, but you had to do it for 2.5 years.
Well, and I think another part of it is, and I'm sure there's studies behind this, but being able to close out of one thing. So you're closing out of sleeping. You are now getting up and going into another space, and then you're going to close out of that, so then you can start your day.
Yeah.
So same thing that you do. You literally close out the house and go somewhere else. And that's something else, as people are doing virtual work. There's got to be a space that is only designed for work.
Yeah. And one thing that you mentioned to me is that I don't like to read. I get it. But also now, if you share, there's a space in this house for me to go and try to read.
If I share.
I mean, I'm saying though, I don't find it comfortable reading in bed. And then if I'm in the den, I don't know, but if I go into that newly renovated office when you finish it, it might give me the encouraging spirit to read a little bit. But I think
it doesn't affect the dynamic of our family.
Yeah.
Our kids can still run around, do whatever they need. You can throw some AirPods in and listen to just some classical music while you read. You know what I mean? That was my biggest thing, was I didn't want to affect the flow of our family dynamic.
Yeah, and I think we did a great job of doing that. But I think so many things that you've mentioned.
But yeah, so sorry, on that.
Yeah.
If we had talked about it a year ago, I would have told you that my self-care is going to work out. Is leaving and going to work out.
Yeah.
And a year later, after not working out for months, just totally boycotting it, I talked to my therapist and she's like, you're not even going because you want to go. You're going because you're checking a box to be a better perfectionist, because you know in your head that it's going to give you the endorphins that you need. And there's something to be said about just getting the workout done. Yeah, it does make you feel better. To me, it's just okay, you go to work because you have to go to work. You get to choose where you work, though.
Yeah.
So you can like your job better and still prefer to be doing something different.
Yeah.
So I like working out, but I still prefer to be doing something different. That doesn't mean that working out is my self-care.
True. No, that definitely.
So
yeah.
that's really, 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 really focusing and tuning into how do I genuinely feel? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I glad? Am I joyful while I'm doing this? Do I feel more relieved at the end of it? Because I think so many times people just assume if I go work out, I'm going to feel better.
Yeah.
Well, if you feel better going for a 45-minute walk, 30-minute walk a day, and you loathe
Walking.
No, you loathe running or you loathe doing a group workout, well, then don't do it.
And that's something that also we struggle with, especially this time of year. People are like, well, just go do it and just fight through it. And if you get through this, but also there has to be a sense of enjoyment of you actually wanting to do it.
Right.
And actually feeling fulfilled when you finish it. Yes, in life, there are going to come moments when you are an athlete or something, you have to push through something that you don't want to do. But at the end of the day, what is going to truly bring you that happiness piece?
Right. I mean, that is a job in and of itself. The other duties as assigned are probably not the ones that you want to do. Let's get real.
Yeah.
When you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever it is, even if you're working for yourself, there are components of it that you don't like to do. But there are large components of it that you do. You get to choose what kind of job you do.
Yeah.
So same thing with working out, same thing with these resolutions, same thing with self-care. There are components of it that are hard. It is hard to set aside time for self-care.
Yeah.
That's hard, especially when you hear your kids laughing or whatever. But knowing that getting through kind of that uncomfortable feeling, knowing you end up leaving this space feeling more fulfilled means that that's what you're supposed to be doing.
No, I agree with that. And that's something that, we will continue to assess as we go through this new year. But I think if my favorite thing that you said on this podcast that I want to also think through as I go, through my week of weekly meetings and hearing from people is just to take the time in this virtual world until stop checking the box in your meetings. And before you guys dive into a meeting, ask a person, hey, what are some of your self-care? Ask somebody that you interact with, like, hey, how is this going? And not just the superficial, hey, how are you? Where's that file? Or what's this project look like? Just simply ask them because, like you mentioned, the team interaction that you would get in a office setting is not there.
Yeah.
And so check in with somebody, on your team or your Zoom or whatever you're doing, and it might spark them to think about how important that is, because I didn't think about it till you said this. The self-care is just as important to your coworkers, to your family, to your kids as it is yourself. Because
it's a massive ripple effect.
And that's so true.
Yeah. It's just like if you have bad body odor. Like, if you don't take a shower and get rid of your body odor, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everybody else around you.
That's true.
So essentially, that's what your emotional stance is. That's what your self-care, health, all of it. That's what all of it is. If you're not growing mentally, then you're becoming more towards a vegetable. Well, that affects everybody else around you.
You're right. Well,
welcome to 2022.
2022, back from the holiday hiatus.
Here's your permission to throw out your New Year's resolutions already.
Throw them out.
And think more about ones that will benefit you in the long run and not what everybody else wants you to do.
Exactly. Also, maybe next episode or soon, we got to break down the Adele CD. We haven't talked about that.
Oh.
Yeah. Do an album review about Adele.
I'm going to need a big cup of coffee for that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty heavy.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So if you guys are enjoying this, definitely leave us a review. Give us the feedback. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us on our website at themizellshow.com. There is a contact section. You can put it in there. We would love to hear about it. Or you can always go over to Instagram at The Mizell Show. Also, as always, don't forget to screenshot this episode and just add it to your stories and tag us on Instagram, on Facebook at The Mizell Show. Thanks, guys. Are you loving The Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram @themizellshow.